YouTube, what's up? It's the Casual Dude here, and I'm joined today, if you don't know him, this is
Rue of RueTV.
So we just saw the new Jordan Peele film, Nope. This is going to be non-spoilers, probably have that already in the title.
Yeah.
And we may do some spoilers at the end, so you know, there's no spoilers here at the beginning, but I'm just going to get right out and say it, cat out of the bag.
Go.
I didn't really like this movie.
Okay.
I didn't.
I get into it because I have a couple things to say.
I didn't really like this movie, and I went into this really, I don't want to say with high expectations, but I feel like I didn't love his last movie.
Okay.
So I was excited to see this one, and I was ready to even, you know, turn some blind eyes and have, you know, if I didn't really like certain things in this. But the thing is, this movie starts at, I would even say around like a 6, 7-ish. Like I was kind of, in like first 30 minutes, I thought, okay, it's pretty good. I'm hoping this gets better and elevates. And there are scenes that I like in this movie, but the way it ends, the last 10 minutes, and I just wasn't satisfied.
So for me, I'm with you on a couple things.
And no spoilers, just
no spoilers.
We want to try not to spoil.
But I want to talk about a couple things. I think I was saying it very positive. I think it was shot very well.
Yes.
I think this was
very
for
well.
what it was. It was shot, for me, it felt like, I don't know if anybody out there watching has these kind of dreams or nightmares, but it felt like I was in a nightmare for 2 hours. And not so much that, like, you know, you were jumping scary, it just felt like you were in one of those kind of lucid, trapped dreams or nightmares.
Yes.
And it felt you were there for it. But
that's a big positive. I think that's the best, for me, the biggest positive.
And I think that is what really stood out for me. Unfortunately, when you build up, and in this movie was over 2 hours, I believe it was 2 hours and 10.
Yep.
And when you have a movie that's 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I think the performances were pretty good. I think the acting was what it was. Not overly crazy spectacular, but it wasn't bad by any means. And you build up a movie for, well, let's say 2 hours, because the final 10 minutes is what you were just discussing. I don't think the payoff matched what the buildup was. What do you think about? I mean, I don't think the
kind
payoff
of just ends, right?
When I tapped you on the shoulder about
when you said you knew where it was going,
45 minutes into it, and I can't say because this is a non-spoiler review, I was definitely wrong.
Oh yeah, when there's about an hour into the movie, hour and a half, Rue whispers to me, says, "Do you know where this is going?"
Yeah.
And I say, "No," and he said, "I do." And I said,
okay.
I was like,
I will say this, I thought it was something, and it could have, and you know, I'd love to hear what Jordan Peele has to say about this, but not to give anything away, but I thought it was very sort of George Orwell style, Animal Farmish.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing.
Farmish,
I was thinking that.
Something along those lines. Style. I don't want to give anything away, but there's an opening scene in this, and they at about an hour in, they cut back to it. I thought that was sort of, and I know it is, and if I do if you go back, I'm sure it's tied to it. It is tied to it, but not the way I thought it was going to be tied to it.
Same.
I know we're being vague.
Yeah.
But
we'll do maybe a few spoilers at the end.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a little bit at the end. But
go ahead with whatever you
I think the biggest positive, like the thing is, it's
short
really.
right now. Look how short I am.
I think maybe I'm
like
hunched.
a little. Why don't we switch?
A little man.
Switch.
We can switch. The biggest positive is the thing is this film was really, really made well. Like well shot, beautiful movie. It's probably his best shot film
it looked awesome
by a mile.
It
looked really good. These big long shots.
Yeah. The shots were amazing.
Acting was good. Good cast. I liked all the cast. Like the Fry's electronics guy was great.
Yeah, he did a good job. Yeah.
His sister Emerald was the standout, I think. You know, I'll say this too. OJ, which played by Daniel Kaluuya, he's amazing. He's won an Oscar. I feel like he didn't have his best performance in this movie. I feel like he very, like a lot of times in this film, he kind of has no reaction. His humor's good.
So you mean in terms of he had no emotion?
He didn't have much emotion in this movie, I felt.
I don't know 100%, but I think that's how he was supposed to play it. I think he was supposed to be like, and I'm gonna see if I'm right about this. I think Jordan told him to play it sort of like a Clint Eastwood, kind of like emotionless. You're not going to sell it. You're not going to be over the top, screaming. I think in a way, Jordan wanted him to play it that way because so many characters like that always play it or are told to play their in horror movies or sci-fi over the top, oh my god, I'm screaming, I'm going nuts. Well, he was the exact opposite, where you could see certain times he was tense, but he played it cool, he played it confident, and I think, I could be wrong, but I feel like he was told to play it like a Clint Eastwood, kind of like that style. I think that's what was in his head.
Being frozen with fear is one thing, and that happens, and I'm not like critiquing, that's the direction the character goes creatively and everything, that's fine. I think it's just, look, when I'm already, it didn't help as far as my enjoyment goes, right? Because it's like,
no, it didn't, because it didn't match, it just didn't mesh well. I feel like he should have been a little bit more realistically emotional reacting. I think his partner, I don't know what the girl's
Emerald
sister, was a little bit more. It's kind of like a little bit more over the top and reacting to it. Of course,
a little bit, sometimes a little too much. But
his character was named OJ, of course.
OJ Emerald,
kind of funny. OJ Simpson.
Yeah, I liked good humor. I wasn't like laughing out loud.
There were some little subtle. And Jordan does that a lot in his movies. He throws in some humor and stuff like that because he was based in humor himself, and there's always some funny moments. But I will say that. Just the payoff of this movie, it was not. First of all, it was not what I was expecting. It was like, how do you? There's got to be more. There's got to be more to this, and I feel like there was more that we should have understood. The casual fan, I'm listening to people around me. Okay, so there was a scene. God, how can we do this without giving stuff away? There was a scene when we kind of think there's like a swerve. You kind of think what's going in the barn. And you remember that?
Yes.
And it turns out to be not what we think it is.
Yes.
And that audience popped, and they were going ape shit.
Yes.
And
judging
by their reaction to that, I think that's what they wanted. They wanted more of the standard, basic, what you expected this movie to be. And Jordan, being Jordan, gave people a little bit of a different his take on what this is.
That was the creepiest moment in the movie too. Actually, I was creeped out.
Absolutely it was.
I don't have a problem with that creative direction. I'm just saying, look, if you're going into this for horror, this is more of a supernatural, monster thriller type of thing. I wouldn't call this horror. I don't think this is really a horror movie. Like, I don't know how you felt.
This was, I mean, if you want to call, the Twilight Zone. It's Twilight. It was like an extended Twilight Zone. It was like it reminded me of like Twilight Zone. And Jordan did the new updated version of the Twilight Zone. He was the host of it. I have it on DVD, physical media still. So it was like a horror. It had horror elements. Definitely a thriller, type suspense. But definitely out of the lines of Twilight Zone-ish. Definitely.
100%. And there were a lot of things I liked, really strong pieces in play, and I think Jordan, I don't know if Jordan wrote the screenplay for this or not.
He did everything. Wrote, directed, and produced.
So, I'll say this. I think he excelled in directing. If he did casting, producing probably. But I think this would have benefited maybe from just another. I'm sure he had another set of eyes. But I don't know. The script, it was very. Unless there's things we missed. To me, this was a very straightforward story with the ending as well. Very straightforward. And I just thought there'd be some more deeper themes, which Jordan is much more known for too. What is your ranking? This, Get Out, Us, and what is your final verdict?
Well, this is definitely his third best. You have to have an ending that's going to be memorable for me. I honestly enjoyed the build-up. I enjoyed the 2 hours. I thought it was well done, but the ending did not match. You cannot have a movie that's 2 hours and 10 minutes and not have a payoff. Star rating? What are we doing? Star rating?
I usually do out of 10. So if you want to
10, okay.
Do the casual scale. And for me, usually a 5 is average. A lot of people, a 5 is like bad. But I usually say
I don't think it was bad. It was just bad. I think there was a bad creative choice made. I'm gonna say it was a 5 out of 10.
Wow. Okay. This is also my least favorite film from him. No doubt. I didn't really like this movie. However, the directing, the casting. It's funny you say a 5 because I also walking out of the theater. I was kind of between a 4 and a 5.
Yeah.
But I said, what saves it is how well made it was.
Yeah.
And Rue did also say some of like the feelings of hopelessness and like horror and claustrophobia did work. There's a few shots where it reminded me almost of like Killer Clowns from Outer Space in a good way.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Some scenes reminded me of that movie,
sure.
which I freaking love.
For sure, yeah.
And I almost wish could this movie have benefited from some clowns maybe, because there's almost some circus type themes, and I don't know, but regardless, I'm giving it a 5. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. And again, that's average. I was very throughout this whole movie. There was times around that like a 6, 7. There was times I was at a 3 or a 4. So it's a 5 out of 10. Last thing, I guess, I think people should see it in the theater, because it is a movie where if you love this movie, I would love to hear why. I would love to hear why you do. Why don't I see the way? Why do you love it? Why don't I? So you can leave comments.
Yeah.
Let us know if you agree with us, if you like it less, like it more. I like movies like this because it's very much an interesting film, a discussion type of film.
For sure, and I know there's stuff we probably missed. I think for everybody out there at home watching, I think it's time to tell you guys, if you're going to see it, like we just said, I think to tune out or X out. And it's time to talk a little bit about some things that we shouldn't talk about if you don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, a little spoilers. Spoiler warning will be plastered, but we can speak freely as far as what we want to say. It sounds like you had something.
Well, right? I wanted to talk a little bit about something in terms of the theme. The scene at the 1996 sitcom where the chimp, pardon the pun, goes ape shit, and kills everybody.
Right.
Okay.
So the theme that you felt, right, they were building to this.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be bringing animals, or I was thinking they're kind of showing the dangers of putting something in a place it shouldn't be. That's what I was thinking, at least. But was it? Am I wrong? I don't even know what I was thinking.
So in terms of the theme of this movie and what I was thinking, there's a couple things I noticed. Unless I missed it, did any horse get sucked up into the thing?
We don't see it.
No, they just run off, right?
They run off.
Anytime that OJ was on the horse, was he ever? Nothing happened to him, right? Even though it was right over his head, right?
Right.
Okay. When OJ came into town, what was on top of the building? What was on top of the building when he came into town after they had murdered and sucked up all the people?
Oh, what was on top of the building?
Yeah.
Was it what building? The house or in the town?
When he's walking through the amusement portion of the town.
The inflatable guy?
No.
What
was on top of the building? It's a pig.
The pig?
There's a pig on top of the building.
Like a real pig?
Yeah, no. There's a pig. Was it a fake pig?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Miss it.
Did I miss the pig?
There was a pig on top of the thing, and I'm first of all, my thought is because there was animatronic. They had remember the statue of the horse?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course. Yes.
So I'm watching it. I'm seeing the pig on top of the building, and I'm saying is that a statue? Is that a prop? And then I'm staring at it because this is moving. The scene's moving, and I'm staring at the pig, and it was moving.
So it was a real pig.
It was a real pig on top of there. Okay. I thought, that's was the thing. It was related to, and then the whole scene with the chimp killing people and everybody. I didn't think it was clearly. You can't do a Planet of the Apes movie, but I thought it was similar to a theme in which animals were kind of they were here before us, and we were the aliens at one point.
Right.
I thought Jordan was, and maybe he was, but we didn't see that. I mean, I thought maybe it was related to, something related to animals. Why would you go so heavy on that scene? Mm-hmm. Right. And then for the payoff to be what it was? I don't understand why. I mean, I know the scene of, you see, what's the Asian American guy that was running.
Don't remember his name in the movie.
Well, he was working on the set during that scene with the chimp,
right? And
you could see what happened. I mean, if you guys are watching this, you've seen it. He was about to fist bump with the fist bump with the.
And it was kind of like a sentient
before
moment.
He got. I mean, I could tell you, he got shot before the chimp got shot. It was kind of like a weird moment. I was like, there is no way this isn't going to be paid off in the end. And
it kind of wasn't.
It wasn't.
No, it kind of wasn't. They didn't.
It wasn't.
I thought that'd be a big.
I mean, even
thing.
if that was I can't wrap my head. You cannot have a movie like this and not have a visual come out of that.
The ending it just ends. It ends with him on the horse.
And again, there was a whole theme of, if you remember during the scene, that camera guy that they hired.
Mm-hmm.
He was singing the song "Purple People Eater."
Yes.
So was it that literal, that it was just this entity that was just hungry for people and just killing people and then leaving animals? Was it that literal?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which also is a little.
Is it that literal?
If that's it, if that's what it is, it's a little. I don't know. It's a little dull. But another key moment or scene that kind of gives a hint to that is the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
When they have the horses going in the circle. And I know that farmers, like, you know, not to say you're using your animals, but not that they're not abusing them, but they're using their animals to produce. But it's like the vision of it, the imagery was like, it looks like the horses are like kind of like slaves a little bit, but chained up, you know.
That combined with using the chimp on the talk show, and what happened? Got slaughtered.
Yeah.
That combined with using the horse, the rodeo, the Hollywood Hayward horse show. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. They're using animals. That's what led me to believe it.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna get paid off. Maybe we don't need to be explained that. Maybe he wants. You know what I mean? Maybe we're supposed.
We
to
are
just
the
assume
audience,
that.
and look, if we didn't really get that feeling, then look, I'm sorry, but you kind of failed, and other people get it. That's great. So, but I mean, it didn't happen for me.
We are the audience.
Naturally,
we are the audience, and the thing is, we're psychoanalyzing this. A lot of people are not going to psychoanalyze it. They're just going to think, I don't get it.
General
I don't
audience,
like it.
don't go see it. I'd say. I would not even say like, oh, you like Get Out. No, Get Out is an amazing movie for everyone.
Yeah. So let's talk about one more thing. One little spoiler. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The
fact that it needed clowns. This movie needed some clowns.
It needed more clowns.
I think clowns would have made this movie really good.
It needed
clowns would have
something.
fit the theme. I don't know. It just would have worked.
The ending with sending the balloon into the big mascot balloon, right, of the Hayward, Hollywood Hayward horse show, into the thing, trapping it, not realizing that it's a balloon popping, and then the whole thing explodes, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So was that the callback to when the chimp went apeshit when the balloon popped in the thing? Because I was not thinking that was gonna. I was like, wow, that thing's gonna pop. And just like when the balloon pops, then all the whatever is going to come down and go ape shit on the town. I don't know. I didn't like the ending.
No. The ending is what really.
The balloon, really?
Yeah.
The big balloon.
And it ends right then. Like after that scene, it basically ends. There's one.
And then she sees. Then she sees OJ on the horse.
She's happy that it's done.
Happy that OJ was alive, you know. And then they fade. But I don't. Not the ending I would have done. Yeah.
I also, I touched on it a little bit earlier, but the scene of like the fake out with the creatures coming out was very, very well shot.
And it had people.
That
had people.
Like that,
sure.
That scene was so.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
10 out of 10
we were talking
scene.
about this scene earlier, but we didn't want to spoil it. But who were they? The kids
guys
pranking. They were pranking them or something, right?
Yeah, with the mask.
Yeah, that was 10. That was
like perfect. That was so well shot. Yeah. It was scary.
Yeah.
His reactions were good. Like, that's not the movie that we got. That was just, a little tease of like horror. Mm-hmm. But I would have loved if that was like the movie personally. But it's all right. Again, let us know what you think. If you agree with us, again, disagree. Overall, we're both at a 5 out of 10 for this movie. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and
thanks, CasualDude, for having me on the channel.
RueTV, subscribe to RueTV if you haven't already.
If you're one of CasualDude's friends, you can subscribe to me at RueTV.
Subscribe to RueTV.
See some ridiculous stuff, interviews, street segments, vlogs, funny stuff, dumb stuff.
Link in the description.
Link in the description.
Link down there.
Somewhere down there.
Link down there.
If Timothy Birmingham's watching this, shout out to Timothy.
Shout out to Timothy.
I'll tell him to watch it. We'll tell him to watch this. He'll watch it. Think he'll watch the whole thing? This is at the end.
I think he will.
I think he will. Sure. We'll test and see if he's watching. Because Timothy, how about this? Timothy, if you're watching till the end, I want you in the comments, Timothy, I want you to write cucumbers. If you write the secret word cucumber in the comment, Timothy, I will know you watched it.
We'll know you watched it, and then we can have you back on
We want
RueTV
you
Live.
What's the secret word?
All right, guys.
All right.
Later.